All right, so I got a question that something like this: a chemist synthesizes 0.480 kilograms, a good amount of aspirin. It says the normal dose is 350 milligram tablets. How many doses did she prepare? In other words, how many full doses did she prepare? Well, it kind of helps to think about this question first before we kind of go and start addressing things. If the normal dose is 350 milligrams tablets, hopefully that makes sense that the normal dose is 700 milligrams. In other words, 2 times this amount. So the normal dose is 700 milligrams, and that would have 2 sig figs because we're taking 350 milligrams times 2, which would be 700 milligrams. So I'm going to underline those 2 numbers right there just to keep track of the amount that we have to have 2 sig figs, because this 350 had 2 sig figs. Okay, so we have we're looking to see how many 700 milligram doses are in 0.480 kilograms. Anytime you have mismatched prefixes, see that's kilo and that's milli, that's when it helps to start by replacing the kilo or replacing the milli. In other words, we know that milli is times 10 to the negative 3. So this is actually 700 times 10 to the negative 3 grams. Remember, we would just replace this with this prefix like we've done in class. And we have 0.480 kilograms, and we would replace that kilo with times 10 to the positive 3 because K equals times 10 to the positive 3. So the 0.480 kilograms actually is 0.480 times 10 to the 3 grams. Okay, so we need to get started. This is actually 700 times 10 to the negative 3rd grams, but it's not grams, it's grams per dose. This is the amount that we would have in a single dose, and this is the amount that they made. In other words, this is kind of like the given. This is the thing with 1 unit, and this thing has 2 units, the grams and the dose. So if we start off like this, we know that the 0.480 times 10 to the 3rd grams is going up here. Once we've done that, we've set it up. If this is grams, we have to put grams down there. We're taking it from here. So 700 times 10 to the negative 3 grams per dose, and dose ends up there. Now we just need to calculate this. Our grams have canceled and we're left with dose, and that's good because it asked how many doses we prepared. Now we just have to do a little bit of math. Okay. There are several ways you could do this. I'm gonna write it out before I do it. The way that I would do it, if you don't want to think too much through it and you want to have the same process every single time that works. Anything on the top gets a multiplication sign, anything on the bottom gets a division sign. But you got to be careful because you can't just divide by 700, you have to divide by 700 and divide by 10 to the negative 3rd. So let me show you how that would look in your calculator. 0.480 times 10 to the 3rd, because it's on the top, divided by 700 with 2 sig figs, divided by 10 to the negative 3rd. Now you could do a good amount of this in your head if you'd like to by using the exponent multiplication division steps that we talked about, or you can just enter it in the calculator. I'll show you how I would enter it in the calculator. I'd say 0.480 times 10 to the 3rd divided by 700 divided by 10 to the, excuse me, I think I hit, yep, 10 to the negative 3rd, and then hit enter. And I get that the chemist prepared 685.71 doses. Sorry if you can hear my kids' movie in the background. Okay, so 685.71 doses. Now the last thing we have to look at is sig figs, right? This one right here, any zeros that come after a number with a decimal in that number count, so that's got 3. Remember, we were keeping track of this one, it's got 2. Just to remind you, it has 2 from the 350 up here. This had 2, so therefore this one still has 2. These are infinite, we never have to worry about them, so we have to ask what's smaller, 3 or 2? Hopefully you agree it's 2. There's a few ways you could do this. You could put it in scientific notation first, or you can just maybe think through it and think, okay, 685 would round to 690 doses, and that's the final answer. 690 doses because it has 2 suffix. All right, hope this helps.